So to my understanding, like you guys believe that men should be like the leaders of society / they are the leaders of society, right?
Yeah.
So I'm just trying to make this clear. But it seems like you hold responsibility about like broken households like only on women. And to me that's a little bit strange because it's like if men are supposed to lead the woman, then there's a failure of leadership if women aren't like falling to place.
So
Okay, I blame women all the time, so I'll take this one.
Yeah.
So I think it's the woman's fault because the women tend to leave, and they tend to leave for stupid reasons.
Mhm.
Yeah, but then my argument is that if you believe like the natural order is that like men are supposed to lead and that women are supposed to be submissive, there's obviously something wrong with like leadership if women are so willingly and easily able to lead.
I would argue it's because men have no power in this society. They know that if they leave, that they lose. They know they lose everything. Honestly, if it doesn't work out, women know they gain everything. If you pay people to make bad decisions, they're going to make bad decisions.
Yeah, but I thought my understanding was that like, high value men do have all the power in society. Like that's at least maybe it's different in this podcast, but at least in the ones I've been before, they talk about like, the 1% men get all the women, they get all the money, they have control of all the resources.
Yeah. So when it comes to the dating market, yeah, they have the most power in the dating market, like the most choice.
Of course we have.
Yeah.
But so when if me and you make a business deal, right? And if the deal fails, you get all the money. Yeah. And if the deal fails, I lose all the money. I'm always going to be trying to make you happy because I don't want you to leave. And I just don't think that works. Women hate guys that give them whatever they want, but a lot of marriages turn into that because women have all the power. And the average men have no control over this. I would argue that elite liberal men did this by giving women the right to vote, and women voted.
Women shouldn't vote.
Yeah. And women voted in a lot of these policies that I would argue discriminate against men. But I would say it is out of order, and men are not able to leave because of the leverage that women have.
Yeah, I think maybe I just like fundamentally disagree because in most divorce cases, like alimony is only 10%. Like at least in the United States, it's more 50-50 when it comes to divorce, unless if you have like those.
What's the most important thing?
Communication.
No, not like in to make it work. I mean, like what is the most important thing that you get out of marriage?
Like a loving partner?
Children.
Kids.
Okay.
And men only get custody 10% of the time.
At least in the United States, the way that it's phrased is that the primary caregiver gets...
So they punish men for doing the right thing.
No.
Because if men... No, I've talked to lawyers about this. If men do the right thing, and she could tell you she is a lawyer, but if men do the right thing, which is to provide for their family, they're punished because they didn't spend as much time with the kids. But that's what you're supposed to do.
Yeah.
So the way they write the laws, I would argue, discriminates against men because even in 50-50 relationships, quote unquote 50-50, it's like 70% of the time, roughly, men are still paying the majority. They still make more.
So do you believe that men should have more time off to be able to take care of their children, or should be able to because you have like maternal leave in a lot of places.
Right.
Do you believe that there should be like an equal amount of paternal leave that's also paid?
No. I'm not here to say how you should structure your family with working,
I'm talking
working.
About society. I'm saying
I'm saying that with the divorce laws and the child support laws being the way they are, it makes it very difficult for men to lead because women have so much leverage.
Yeah, and I'm saying that when you're painting this picture of society and you're saying, oh no, the men are getting punished for being providers, but we have an increasing society where women also work and they're expected to do household labor. So they're doing both of these things.
Well, women. The one thing is women chose to work, so we didn't have to work. We chose to do that.
Yeah,
and the other thing is women want a lifestyle that average men can't afford. So they want to get their nails done. And I could just say this anecdotally from having so many chicks come on the show. They all have their nails done. And a lot of times they have Botox. A lot of times they have fake hair. A lot of times they have the latest fashion trends. Like our grandmothers and great grandmothers didn't have all of that stuff, and they went down in lifestyle for the children, for the family. That was what was important. But we have, again, back to the me, materialistic is the number one thing in this society. Instagram, social media.
Why do you think women divorce?
I think women think that they can do better.
They get bored.
And I think there's a couple things that go on. I think one, social media deludes us. I think we live women, it's like we spend 8 hours a day on social media. You don't think that's going to influence us? 80% of consumer buying decisions are made by women, telling us we're going to be young forever, telling us we're going to be hot forever, telling us men like whores, telling us old women are attractive. They're starting to cast old lady actors as leads. Like, why is a 33-year-old chick
Telling them
Barbie?
that men want baby
Like,
mamas.
and so I think that like really makes us live in this la la land and delusion, and no one tells us the truth for our whole lives. And I think a lot of times we think we can do better, which the data will tell you we can't. We don't remarry typically if we have a kid. And I think that, I think we do leave for stupid reasons. And one of them, I think women also starve men of sex and then they get cheated on, but a lot of times they don't sleep with them for 2-3 years. As a divorce attorney, I'm sure you've heard that story a million times. Yeah. I think women are also very controlling and conniving. And I think, I think we try to control situations because we're told we should have an equal say and be an equal partnership.
Yeah, I think at least when it comes to like the divorce stats I read, it seems like one of the primary reasons for divorce is that women are doing, the labor outside the home. And I know you're saying women choose to do that, but I also think that there's a reality that we live in a time of inflation. We live in a time where
I want to speak to this from personal experience about the whole like cost of living argument.
Okay, wait, let me finish. Wait, I'm almost done.
No, you let her. Go ahead.
Wait, so we live in a time where there's like inflation, where it's harder to have like this minimum quality of life, where we're just struggling as a society as a whole. So this whole idea that like, oh no, like women just choose to work or whatever. A lot of them like don't. A lot of them need that to keep the family afloat, and I think that causes a lot of stress and problems. And I think there's ways we can fix it, right, as a society. I think this is a controversial opinion from both sides, but yeah, I think we should give like a minimum tax credit for people who have children to like encourage the women to stay at home, to make it less financially like distressful. But I think this whole idea that like, oh no, they're just leaving for stupid reasons. I don't think that's
so if
true.
money is the issue, is it going to be fixed when you have 2 rents?
What do you mean by
so you said that the issue is that women have to work.
It's not just money. It's money plus the household labor.
Okay. So now you have 2 households to do labor in. How does that solve the problem?
Well, no, you don't have 2 households to do labor.
No, because she gets an apartment and he gets an apartment.
Yeah, and now she only has to take care about her and her child. She doesn't take care of her child, her work, and her man.
So, but I'm saying there's 2 rents, right?
Yeah, but she doesn't have to cover both rents.
Right, but she still has to cook for herself.
Yeah,
right?
for herself and for her child.
But I think we live in like this is deluded.
Delusional world.
Like you also get less help. Like from the guy, like if you want to change a light bulb, and when single women always have their smoke detectors going off, like, like there's things that men provide. Like the thing is women, and this I think actually brings us to a problem in society. Well, women are always keeping score, and you can't keep score in a marriage. Even that mentality right there, that's keeping score. Well, I did this for you. I'm also working. I'm doing this, which you're thinking about me, when it's not about you. It's about your kids. Like we're gonna divorce over chores.
Well, it's not just chores, right? It's a built-up resentment, and on top of the built-up resentment, it's the fact that like there is added stress. Even if you're not consciously keeping count, it does add up when you have to do more chores, more labor, more housekeeping.